The Rotary Club of Naperville was organized in 1941, and it was in 1982 that I joined Rotary. But I didn't join the International Service Committee for several years, and it was in 2001 that I actually became part of the International Service Committee. We started getting professional people with the kind of talents and knowledge to do major projects, and it all fit very well. There tends to be several areas in which we have probably concentrated focus. Several countries in Africa. We've done several projects in Haiti. We have done some work in South America in some countries. We have done projects in the United States. Every project has its own interest and unique features. They're all important. They're very helpful to many people. We started collecting musical instruments just from donations in 2015 with the idea that we would collect these instruments and then donate them to a school in Port-au-Pay.
I said, well, to do it, we would need instruments. And I said, well, and I kept thinking about that. I am in the plane coming back, and I have musical instrument project for the children of Port-au-Pay. The idea kept haunting me. And then I thought about Rotary. I said, well, maybe Rotary could help me fulfill that dream. Because I thought about myself as a father with kids going here. I had at least 2 instruments in my basement that the kids used to play with. So I said, well, maybe if we could contact the schools and the parents, this way we could gather as many instruments as we could and then start the project. Before we know, we started gathering instruments. The instruments were being accumulated in my living room. Then we decided to have them to contact the Elman's Music, to have them take care of the tuning, the repairing, the cleaning of these instruments. And that's when the conversation started with Pete Elman. As Pete Elman's big band. And before we know, we decided to organize a fundraiser that was quite successful. And from that, the project really started spreading its wing. While I was dreaming of that project, I did not know exactly how this project, this society, since I live here in Naperville and I want to recreate that society in Port-au-Pay, how was that going to take place? How was it going to be organized? And that was a little bit of a challenge. We kept on pondering, on searching for a solution until Carl discovered Bloom Haiti. And then that's when we found out that there is a school called Metronome Music that exists in Port-au-Prince. And that school was really looking for some opportunity like that. They embraced that also.
As I thought about how we could accomplish this, I said, I think the best thing to do is to build our own crates. And so I designed 2 crates. They were 4 feet wide, 4 feet high, and 6 feet long. And it seemed to work very well. I was very happy to see how the crates went through the transport process.
And then when those kids started to perform music, I was in 7th. We should feel proud.
Thank you, Naperville, Rotary.
Thank you very much.
India is one of the diabetic capitals of the world, and there's so many diabetics, millions of them in India, and it is disheartening for most of them. The diabetic care, particularly the dialysis, is not available at a reasonable cost at a reasonable place. And that touched my heart when I found myself that 2 of my friends, dear friends, had this disease and they passed away. So I thought to myself, I must do something in developing a project through the channels of Rotary, because Rotary is a giving type of organization. And I wanted to really do that with the help of my Rotarian friends, both in the United States as well as in India. There are so many poor people in India living in far off and remote areas where there is no hospital or any other facility for them to go to obtain this treatment. Unfortunately, there is an organization of fellow Rotarians working through their club, and they actually bring in people to give them dialysis if they can't afford to come to the facility. And that's where I think the Rotary spirit really worked for me. This dialysis center, which consists of 12 beds and the ancillary equipment, we were able to do it in a very rapid time, and it was inaugurated on June 26, 2016. Usually a dialysis session takes about 4 hours. Particularly when you're rich, you can afford this in a short order. But unfortunately, if you're poor, you have to wait in line, and a whole day could be wasted for this purpose. So the project we have done provides that quality care at a far less time, because they don't have to wait that long at this facility.
The projects, we've been active in Nsukka, Nigeria for probably 8 years. In Nsukka, Nigeria, it's a wonderful community in the southeast where, a lot of the infrastructure that we're comfortable and familiar with, here in the United States, just really isn't existent. No one has clean running water, if you can imagine that. And about 3 years ago, 74,000 people in Nigeria died from water-related illness or sanitation difficulties. So this particular project will put in place clean running water at a large hospital, mission hospital in Nsukka, Nigeria, Bishop Shanahan Hospital. And the water will be available to all of the patients, the staff, the visitors, and the many students who train there at the facility. It will obviously have a big impact, not just on drinking, but on sanitation and hygiene throughout that hospital. And it will also be available to residents in the nearby community, and that work is in progress. We're about halfway through the project. Currently, the clean water's in place. We're going to be doing some training and community outreach later this year. It's a mission hospital serving the poor in Nsukka, Nigeria. We sent 4 40-foot containers of medical equipment and supplies. Previously, about 5 years ago, we sent 2 or 3 containers of medical equipment and supplies. So those equipment and supplies are already been, very helpful in saving lives and making a difference in that hospital and building up their capability. For the second time, we had a team of biomedical engineers from TriMedics Foundation out of Indianapolis come over and work with the technicians at the Bishop Shanahan Hospital as well as 2 satellite hospitals on repairing equipment, setting up spare parts, and doing training. So we're continuing to build up the capabilities. We do have some improvements to sanitation and hygiene built into those projects, but we'll probably want to do more with that in the future. As you're implementing a project, no matter how much work you've done, understanding community needs, you always gain insights as you're going through it, and see the opportunity eventually to do more. But it always starts with community needs assessment. It's never, what do we want to do, and what do we want to bring over.